Harry Kane gonna sign a contract before January. You watch.
Yeah, listen, I need him to, for me personally, I just need him to either sign or go. Like, I'm just so bored of this saga. One club should not be centered around one man this much. It's becoming a little bit embarrassing, to be honest. And more of an indictment of how we've been run for so many years, Rants. That the dilemma around this guy is this big. So, yeah, I don't think they'll bid again. I don't think they will. I can't see them chucking another £25 million sterling on. So, yeah, he'll be at Spurs.
Yeah, 100%. I think so. And you know what? Like, I always saw this. I always saw this happening. Do you know what I mean? I never thought that Harry Kane's desire to leave Spurs was high enough for him to ever leave. Do you know what I mean? Especially for a club abroad. I never saw it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for a couple of times now. I don't know what the right word is, but he's been on the kind of edge of wanting to leave. You know, like the whole Gary Neville thing about Man City this year, agreeing personal terms with Bayern. But he's never quite come out and said, you know what, there's my transfer request. I'm off. And I think a lot of it is his character. I think he's very comfortable. I'm not saying that's right, but he's very comfortable at Spurs. He knows he's got the fan base love him no matter what happens. There's no real pressure at Spurs, is there? There's no pressure. He doesn't win anything and it's fine. At bigger clubs, there'll be inquests. Why didn't you produce? You're a 120 million signing. Why haven't you dragged us to a final? So, look, it is what it is. We move on. He'll score 30 goals this season for Spurs. We won't win anything again. And we'll play the game for the year of will he, won't he sign? So it is what it is, man.
Yeah, I think he signs a new deal. I think he signs a big deal as well. Like he'll probably sign a big deal with a release clause and he won't be fussed if he leaves or not. That's what I see happening. I think he'll sign a deal, might have a release clause of like 120 million, 150 million or something like that. And then it's up to whoever comes in to either pay that money or he stays. That's it. No, I mean, that's what it will be. Like I said, he's got no real desire to leave Spurs because even when there was the Man City saga, he never came out and handed in a transfer request. Like players that want to leave, hand in a transfer request. Initially, it was like they said, "Oh, Harry Kane didn't turn up to training," and then he came out and said, "Nah, I was given that time off. I'm back now. No problems." He never once come out saying, "Oh, Spurs are holding me against my will. I want to leave." He never done that. Do you know what I mean? And that tells me that there's no real desire from him to leave. He's open to leaving, but he's not fussed.
He's sorry, I'm just gonna put my light on. He's it's a mixture. He's sort of halfway in between being the most loyal person ever, which is lovely because we always say there's no loyalty in football, and the other half is not wanting to upset people. I think a lot of the younger part of the fan base would be well upset if he left. I think a lot of the older part of the fan base would be like, look, that's life. We move on. Look, it almost made it worse. Like, you know, obviously he scored 4 goals yesterday against Shakhtar Donetsk. Don't get me wrong. Listen, as a Spurs fan, I want to see that. I want to see my centre forward scoring 3-4 goals a game. Brilliant. Problem was straight after that match, Rants, all the comments went to, see, without Kane wouldn't have won 5-1. And you're like, well, okay, you might not have won 5-1, but someone else would have been in those positions.
Yeah,
someone else would have scored.
Yeah.
You know, he got a penalty and a header, which were quite straightforward. That I'd like to think that, you know, maybe not in the air me, but I'd like to think I would have been able to tuck the penalty away. Look, I don't know. He's comfortable. Listen, somebody said on my show last night that this saga is going to be the defining moment for Daniel Levy. And what they said by that was, if he turns down this bid, and this is obviously yesterday before he turned down the bid, if he's turned down the bid, which he now has, and Kane signs a new contract between now and the end of next season, Daniel Levy gets so much credit in the bank from the Spurs fans.
So much.
Doesn't matter what else he's done, not won us anything, run the club badly. Daniel Levy is now the hero. However, flip that, Rants, right? Next summer, we're hearing every day from Romano and Ornstein that, he's in talks with Chelsea and Man United and Liverpool and Barca and Madrid.
If he doesn't sign.
If he doesn't sign, all of a sudden it's, hang on, you let go of £100 million. So it's a real defining moment.
I feel like he's got some sort of inkling that Harry Kane will sign. Do you know what I mean? Because there was
Yeah, he
noise.
must have.
There was noise saying, you know what, if Kane doesn't leave, he's open to signing a deal. The fact that
Yeah,
that's even been put out there, yeah, tells me that he's not pushing to leave. Like he's got a
yeah.
price in it. Like that price might be 400,000 a week, but
Yeah.
Harry Kane's got a price to stay, because if he was adamant he was going to leave, there's no amount of money, there's nothing that was getting him to negotiate.
Yeah, listen, I think you're right. I think what everyone's been saying the whole time is that he's open to moving,
Mm,
but not desperate to move. And
mm,
obviously, that's the difference between handing in a transfer request and not. It's like anybody in any normal job. It's the difference between changing your LinkedIn status to interested, interested to hear about opportunities versus
mm.
open to work. Like there's a
Yeah,
huge difference. So
100%.
I think he stays. The annoying thing from a Spurs fan point of view, Rants, is now we're going to have every single game, depending if we win or lose, is going to be, see, defeats like that, that's not going to get Kane to sign. And
Mm.
when we win, it'll be, oh, hang on, if Kane enjoyed that today, he might sign a new contract. It's going to be that for 38 games.
It
So,
is going to be that.
listen, it is what it is. He's here. However, there could be another twist. They could put in another bid. I just think it looks very unlikely at this moment.
That's it. And yes, there was noise saying that Kane has to either sign a deal or leave this summer, innit? So the fact that Levy's turning down these bids, it tells me that Harry Kane has said to them, listen, I'll sign a deal for X amount of money. I believe Harry Kane signs a deal. If it's not during this window, it won't be long after it. It will be before January. Like there's no
Yeah.
two ways about it. Do you know what I mean? And the amount of money that Tottenham are making from outside of football, they can afford to give Harry Kane what he wants.
Yeah.
They can afford it.
Yeah. Look, I mean, first and foremost, don't read too much into the main owner thing. The main owner has been so far removed from Tottenham for a long time
Yeah.
that Daniel Levy calls the shots at this football club from top to bottom. Don't worry about that. But yeah, look, there must have been something in the background, right, Rants, where he said, look, I'm not saying it's this basic, but Levy must have had the conversation with Kane and his people and said, look, are you definitely off next year? Because if you are, then I've got to take this bid. So there must have been something from Kane and his people saying, well, hang on, no, it's not dead. It's not dead in the water that we could do a deal. But what's that going to be dependent on is the better question, Rants. Is it how we start the first 10 games of the season? Is he going to change the course of his career based on the first half of a season under a new manager with a new philosophy? I don't know. I think he's playing with fire with his career if it's trophies he's after. If it's not, just stay at Spurs and bang in goals.
Facts. That's crazy, bruv. Man said, how many people actually buy a Kane shirt? Just wondering, never really see people with his name. Bruv, I reckon most of them Tottenham shirts are Kane shirts. Kane
and Son.
Do you know what I mean? Son probably sells the most shirts overall. Do you know what I'm saying? Because everyone in Korea will have one. But absolutely, I think in England, all them shirts must be Harry Kane shirts. There's no way, bro. There's no way he don't sell shirts, man. It's Harry fucking Kane, bro.
Yeah.
Even
Look,
Man United,
he's not.
Rudy was selling all the shirts.
Yeah, he's not the sexy, marketable player that. Like, for instance, like the guy in your background, he's not that guy. He's not the Neymar sexy name. He's not the Messi name. He's not Ronaldo, but I'm sure he is the number one selling Spurs shirt. Maybe Kane because of the Asian market. We get a lot of the Asian market are Tottenham fans because of Sonny.
He's a son, yeah.
But I'm sure Kane sells enough shirts. I wouldn't worry about that.